Hey guys, this is Drakkalan bringing you another Kingdom of Heroes Tactics War video. Today we're going to do a breakdown. It's going to be a pretty quick, simple video. I'm going to start doing a chain of videos on this. We're going to talk about Maat, right? Maat is a light and dark Nat 4, in this case a dark fighter walk with mobility 2. I've already taken my Maat up to level 70. I obviously don't have every hero that we're going to be discussing in this chain of videos, but this one I happen to have, which is why I chose to start with her. The current stats I have right now on Maat is as you can see over here, a little over 5k HP, a little over 1000 attack, 688 defense, and then 114 speed, 10% crit, 174 crit damage, 16% resistance, and 26 accuracy. If we look at the runes right now, she's missing a rune on slot 3. I just don't have the rune yet, and as I've said in my other videos, I haven't started farming runes yet. So it's going to be a minute before I can finish building her out, but she does a pretty good job already in Arena, even with these low stats and these low rune quality. I think most of her runes are legendary 5 stars. I've got her on a set of 2 life runes, and I'm trying to build her out with charge just to put a little bit of attack in there to help burn down Ingways and other tanky heroes that we go up against. If we go ahead and look at the awakening stats, I won't let us see it, but we've already awoken her, so we're going to kind of show how many void requirements and everything are. We've also been putting skill ups in. I've gotten a duplicate of her already, and I've also been putting my Nat 4 skill ups, let me show you guys. I don't have any on me right now because I use them as quick as I can get them. But if we go to, I'm sorry. If we go to summon and we go to the pieces, I can show you what I'm talking about. Right, so this little guy right here, the small skill fairy, that's what you use on Nat 4s. Don't use it on Nat 3s. You can't use it on Nat 5s. But save these guys for your Nat 4 units, and this is what I'm using on my LnD unit right now to skill them up. Alright, so let's back out, go back to Maat, and we will finish discussing. So, the reason I use Maat in my arena team, and you see a lot of Mats or Muspels, which is a fire fighter, in arena teams because they give a leader skill with 30% attack to all allies. So this is very useful when you're trying to cleave and burn down enemy units. The other good things about her is her skill kit, right? So if you guys didn't know, you can see the symbols up here. That makes it easier to see what they do. So we got block recovery, we've got provoke, and we have a continuous damage. So her S3, which is almost max skilled, and it's all damage other than that heal block, which again helps with Ingwe, Vivians, etc. that have a lot of HP and are pretty tanky. So, Hand of Evil Spirit slashes the target enemy with the Hand of Evil Spirit. This skill's damage increases when the enemy has more active debuffs. If the target survives your attack, you leave a spiritual scar on the target to block HP recovery for 2 turns. If your HP percent is less than the target, Soul Absorption's cooldown is reset. Right, so this is based off of debuffs only. There's no other multiplier that goes into effect on this other than the skill increases that you've applied at the bottom. At the same time, if our HP percent is less than the target, then the cooldown is reset on Soul Absorption, which I believe is our skill 2. So it's pretty nice that we can have that skill cooldown reset built into S3 for our S2. So going to S2 now, Soul Absorption pierces through the target enemy to attack. What that means too is when Maat attacks, they don't stay on the same side of the target. They go literally through the target and they end up on the tile on the opposite side of the target. This is pretty useful when you're like surrounded by enemies and they have AoE skills or they have a directional pierce attack. It makes them face away from your other units. So, pierces through a target to enemy to attack. Successful hits increase your defense for 2 turns and recovers 80% of damage inflicted as HP. If your HP is above 60%, you provoke the target for 2 turns and Soul Absorption's cooldown is reset. So you've got 2 ways to reset the skill down on this skill, which is already a 3-turn cooldown, so that's not too bad. The objective with mine is to tank and deal damage, but the best rune set to put her on is going to be life, or just as many HP percent and max HP stats as you can get. That way your HP stays above 60%. Having some defense in there is going to be great, and a little bit of accuracy to make sure you land your provoke, your continuous damage, and your heal block. So it's a very versatile unit, very good, especially with this self-defense buff. You're provoking, so you definitely want to have a way to keep yourself up. And you're going to recover 80% of the damage inflicted, so you need to have a little bit of attack stats built in so that you're actually gaining some of that HP back and you're not having to rely on your other units to keep you up. Alright, skill 1, Soul Scratch. Slices the soul of enemies within the target area. Successful hits have a 55% chance to inflict continuous damage on the enemy hit for 2 turns. Now this effect rate is going to go up by another 5%, so we'll be at 60% total. And having a S1 that does continuous damage for 2 turns is pretty useful. Granted, a lot of units, as you've seen, can take those debuffs and transfer them back on you, so you just have to be careful when using this. A lot of times, if you're controlling the unit, you're just going to want to focus on trying to keep these keep bouncing between S2 and S3 with the soul absorption cooldown being reset. And that's pretty much where I use it, right? So definitely good for arena, not a good farming unit because it's not an AoE attack and you're kind of relying on that crit damage. Could be good in dungeons. I use mine in the light dungeon right now, and I haven't really tested her in rune dungeons. Again, not farming those yet, but definitely Guild War and definitely arena is where you're going to see that one shine. So if we go to battle, just to show you guys I'm not blowing smoke, we go to arena. Don't mind my arena score. I'm not trying to climb. I'm just focused on trying to build up points. My tower is level 3 if you guys want to check it out. I'm just increasing defense, increase the tower speed is where we're just messing with it. I just saw speed and clicked on it. We'll do another video on the arena though. I'll save that for later. So if we go enter, let's just look at what some of the other enemy units have. Alright, none of these, which is kind of surprising. I probably let myself fall too low. Alright, so here's an example that I was talking about, right? Muspel. Right, and the reason he's in here is because he's got that leadership skill of 30% for all allies. And his other skills, like you can see this one's maxed out as far as skill ups. They're pretty good, but we'll cover him in a different video. But it's mainly that 30%. You also see a lot of Freya's because it's a starting hero and it gives a speed boost leadership skill. So I don't want to refresh this and waste more. Gems and others. As you can see, I'm 6'6". I'm doing like 6 fights a day. I really have to start focusing on a little bit harder on arena. My defense team right now, as you can see, I got Matt in there. Even with missing a rune, we still win pretty often. Vivian, Freed, which I probably need to replace Freed in all honesty, with Raja, and then my Ifrit. Ifrit being on vampire runes, so. See, that's crazy. It is Raja. I don't know why. Oh wait, that was my attack team. I'm in. I'm new at this, guys. I'm new. And that's it. So we're gonna be putting out one of these videos, hopefully one a day. That's what I'm gonna shoot for. Just discussing each hero's attribute, how I would rune them. Like I said, that one I would rune life, just because you want to keep that HP up above. You could do defense runes, and like I said, I'm doing charge on mine just because I had a lot of charge runes with max HP stats, and I want that added attack to kind of push HP back into the unit. And if you guys are ever curious of how to build out a unit, and we look at the runes, right, you get 2, 4, 6, which are your main stats. These are the ones that can be percent based. So for her, I've got max HP, max HP, max HP. You could do speed HP, HP, speed HP defense, HP defense, defense. It really depends on your substats and how you're trying to use the unit. Just try to make sure you're getting a little bit of accuracy in there and a little bit of attack. If I could, if I had the perfect runes and they were all 6-star, I would probably build mine HP, HP attack, or speed HP, HP, just to keep that 60%. Give her as many turns as possible, and then try to have enough crit rate to be above 70%. A little bit of attack, a little bit of defense, and accuracy, right? Like it, pretty much put every stat in the books on her, is what I'm saying. But right now we got 174% crit damage, which really, you don't need that. I'd rather have the higher crit rate, higher speed, more defense, and more HP. If you wanted to, we can compare it to Whitebeard, right? Granted, he's not level 70. So right now we've got 5600, 1100, 688. Let's go over to Whitebeard, who is a Nat 5. Yeah, he's at 33. So can't make a good comparison with that. His runes are probably a little bit more garbage based as well. Yeah, I've got him on a full charge set with no life runes. Oh no, I do have a life set on him. But he's got crit rate, so he's already missing HP and defense, so his stats are kind of all over the place and jumbled. A little bit faster, more crit rate. So this is more along the lines of the stats I'd like to see on her, but much higher HP. I want as high as HP as I can so that she can take the damage without falling below that 60% threshold. Alright, so hopefully you guys like this video. I'll try to be a little bit more concise in the next one. And keep it up. If you got a hero that you specifically want to see, let me know.